Hey there guys, welcome to Random Nerd Productions, and today I'll be reviewing the 2017 British comedy, The Death of Stalin. The Death of Stalin takes place in 1953 and begins with the death of then Soviet Union dictator Joseph Stalin. And what follows is a race to see who can claim power over the Soviet Union next, with the three main candidates in the race being Georgy Malakoff, played by Jeffrey Tambor, Lavrenti Beria, played by Simon Russell Beale, and Nikita Khrushchev, played by Steve Buscemi. Now, I would easily say that this is one of, in my opinion, the best comedies of the 21st century, and I would easily argue that in terms of how it historically portrays life during the Soviet Union, not only is it respectful to the time period, but the comedy in this movie also greatly benefits from them being accurate to the time period and being truthful to what actually happened. One of the best examples of that, in my opinion, in this movie is the opening, where we see that there is this concert being performed and Stalin comes in right as soon as it ends and he's like, yeah, I want a recording of the performance and I'm gonna send someone to pick it up. To which, there wasn't. Obviously, if you live in the Soviet Union and you value your life during this time period, the last thing you want to do is upset Stalin. So not only do they have to re-perform the entire concert in order to make sure that Stalin doesn't notice the difference, but that also involves, making sure everything sounds the same, which includes the clapping at the end of every song. So they had to actually get people off of the streets and bring them into the orchestra in order to make sure that it sounded completely the same and make sure that Stalin didn't notice the difference. And that is easily one of my favorite parts in the movie, just because I feel they managed to perfectly summarize how, the reign that Stalin had over people and how people were so scared that they were willing to do just about anything. Well, not just about, literally anything to make him happy, and I thought that was a great example of it. Another great moment in the movie is when Malakoff and Beria find Stalin's body, and Malakoff is like, maybe we should call a doctor, and Beria's like, yeah, you're right. But it's a shame, that we, locked up all the highly competent doctors for treason, and I thought that was, again, funny just because, it demonstrated how Stalin's plan had not only failed the people, but it would also eventually, in the end, would also fail him, literally. So I thought that was really well done. Really great performances in the movie were Simon Russell Beale as Beria, who was the head of the NKVD, and Steve Buscemi as Nikita Khrushchev, just because not only did they do a great job in portraying their characters, but it's also just really funny seeing them constantly backstab each other and trying to make sure they do everything to see who can get to power first before the other person can. Simon Russell Beale as Beria, he definitely manages to be the most honest in terms of who straight up just wants, yeah, I'm a monster, I want power, because we see him doing the most, the most monstrous things in the movie, because he straight up says, yeah, I have documents on all you guys, so you better not stop me, And so it's just great seeing him just be this monster, and you definitely get the feeling that Beale is having a really good time portraying him, and I thought he, again, did a really good job portraying how, basically, the NKVD, I felt he was the main guy that managed to, symbolize how Stalin's reign affected people. Two constantly backstabbing each other is made even better when you put into context at the beginning of the film, they're around, the entire group with Malakoff, one other guy who I can't think of, and Stalin, and they're all laughing, they're having fun, and then once Stalin's dead, he's like, okay, my turn! So that also makes it way better. Another really great performance in this movie is Rupert Friend as Joseph Stalin's son, Vasily, just because he's essentially the exact opposite of what you would expect a son of a ruthless dictator to be, just because he is this drunk idiot who seemingly feels every job that he's being given, and it's clear that Friend is having a really fun time in this performance, because every time that he overreacts, he genuinely has fun. There's one moment in the movie where he finds the doctors dissecting his dad's brain, and he has just no problem, shooting a gun in the room, trying to get him to stop, and Steve Buscemi has to try and calm his sister down, because Buscemi basically has to say, yeah, your brother is shooting a gun, causing a scene, it's not fun, The thing about this movie that I found personally funny was, they chose to, for whatever reason, they chose to not do a Russian accent for any of the characters, which makes it even better, especially when you put into context of, characters like Steve Buscemi as Khrushchev, because he's talking with his American accent, and I don't know why. I guess for some reason it just works, because of their acting, the performances, the delivery, it just helps make it even funnier, and Also, if we're being honest, Russian accent isn't exactly the easiest accent to do a genuine impression of. Like, it's easy to do, like a fake Russian accent, comrade, you know, but, like, if you're trying to be legitimate, it's not the easiest one. Yeah, that's really all that I have left to say about The Death of Stalin. I easily feel like this is one of the best comedies of the 21st century, and again, it manages to be accurate and respectful to the time period that's based on, and greatly benefits, especially in terms of the comedy in this movie, from being accurate. And if you guys get a chance to see this, I cannot recommend enough that you do so. As of right now, it is currently up on Netflix, so that should not be too much of a problem. And yeah, that's really all that I've got to say. I'm glad you guys watched this review. Thank you for watching it, and check out The Death of Stalin, and have a good day.